I'm Dr. Ray Middleton. I help people by delivering great training. Here's an example of an episode from one of my training courses. Another strategy we can use are techniques from motivational interviewing. For example, we can jointly identify differences and discrepancies between the goals, values and hopes someone has compared with their current or recent behaviour. We could notice their behaviour is the opposite of going on a journey to achieve these goals. Through gentle confrontation, you can reframe a situation. For example, we might say, you really want to stay in and have a successful tenancy and avoid eviction as you feel safe in your house. But your recent behaviour has led to a letter from your landlord threatening you with eviction. Let's explore the ways in which we could help you to keep your tenancy, as I can see this is really important to you. So do you see we're pointing out a discrepancy, but at the same time we're offering to help, and we're tapping into a value that they've got about feeling safe and wanting to keep the tenancy. So there's a few things going on in even a short sentence conversation like that. Another technique to build motivation is to notice and acknowledge what's called ambivalence, or these are the mixed feelings people often have. For example, we might say, part of you appears to want to spend money on alcohol and drugs, but part of you also seems to want to pay your rent and your bills and not get evicted. So allowing people to see that there is a conflict or ambivalence in different parts of them. So it's a metaphor, it's a way to think about yourself. Part of me wants to do this, part of me doesn't. But that frees people up to think about this at least. And this can help people to make some decisions about moving towards positive changes. It's offering someone a way to think about themselves in parts. You know, it's not, there are other metaphors for human beings, but do you see how that might just help people to think, that's true. And it's a bit less, it's a bit more sophisticated than just saying, oh, you definitely want to keep your tenancy. Well, part of me does, part of me might want some other things. And then we can start to have a conversation about it. So if we can do this in a non-judgmental, safe space to think about this ambivalence or, conflicted feelings within a trusting relationship, it can encourage someone to be brave and to be honest and reflect and say, well, part of me does isn't that bothered, and part of me is bothered. But that is more likely to lead to them forming their own views about whether they want to put the effort and work into change, because change is hard work, isn't it? Different parts of the person can be revealed, and they can weigh up the pluses and minuses of continuing how they are and the likely consequences of that, or putting some effort into change and the likely outcome of that. So they're weighing it up for themselves rather than me telling someone what to do. Another strategy is to communicate that we're willing to join with the person in their quest for changing and reaching a goal. This can reduce their feelings of being isolated and alone, or feeling overwhelmed or powerless around change. We could do this very practically, for example, by offering to accompany people to an important appointment so they don't feel on their own, or we could jointly fill out some paperwork together. Another way to build motivation is to regularly review the change process. How's it going? Review it together and get some feedback from the other person about how quickly they feel the change process is going on, the progress towards a goal. Do they feel it's going too quickly, too slowly, about right? How well is it going? So it's pressing the pause button, getting a bit of feedback. Get a sense of the process and the progress, because I might have a different sense from them about how it's going. We may think it's going well, but they may not. And it might help something come to light that we weren't aware of. We can review the goals and check in where they're at today. We need the flexibility to sometimes respond to the immediate needs of someone, which might be different from the long-term goals we're working on. And if we press the pause button and think about someone's situations, we need to be willing to co-create some new goals, because people's situations often change. Rather than sticking to the original plan forever, if it's no longer relevant, sometimes it's better to change the plan for the transition, maybe a different transition we're aiming for. We need to do this together, and not too quickly, because we want to try to persevere. But if it's clear that the person wants different goals or it's not working, one of the options is to form a different transition, a different goal. We're joining with the client and letting them dictate the pace and the agenda. So we're sharing the power interpersonal power with them rather than us trying to drive them in a particular way, as long as that we are able to stay within our role and the limits of our boundaries. There are limits to what we can agree to work on, but we can still be flexible within that role to work on goals that are mutually acceptable, and that we feel within our role we can help someone on that journey to achieve those goals, and in that way help build someone's motivation. I hope you found that helpful. For more information about the training I can offer, email me at ray.middleton@ladderforlife.com, or sign up for one of my free trauma-informed courses by clicking the link in the comments. Like and subscribe for more helpful videos, or post a question in the comments and I'll reply.